Okay, so now we're ready to start talking about arrays, and this is an important concept in computer programming. And basically, like with an array, the word array in programming means the same thing it does in the real world. It means like a group of things, right? If you went, for example, to a tile store or some kind of like a carpet store and said you're looking for something to cover your floor, and the salesperson says, oh, we have this vast array of colors here for you to choose from. So that's really what we're talking about here. So let's just start with a very simple example. And let's say I want to store a bunch of flavors of gelato, okay? So let's say let's say I have no idea about arrays, and I just start saying, I'll start typing something like flavor 1 equals chocolate, okay, flavor 2 equals vanilla. Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to go overboard with this, but you get the idea. What we have here are two simple variables, or just the types of variables that we've been dealing with all along in this class. And you know, there's nothing wrong with those variables per se, but if you want to store a bunch of things together that are related, like related data, like let's say I want to store a bunch of flavors that are on a menu for a restaurant. They're all, you know, related in some way. Those are the flavors offered at the restaurant. It makes sense to store them contiguously in memory in an array. So I have a picture to show you. And here is an example of what we're going to do. I'm going to create an array called flavors. I already have it coded behind this window, but this is what I want you to imagine in memory is a bunch of, it's like 10 variables stuck together. We'll put 10 flavors in our array. And so we'll have an array that is 10 elements in length. Okay, I'm going to call my array flavors, and then I'm going to populate the array with the flavors. And so that's really it. And then very importantly, because all of these flavors go under the same name, they're just stored all together in memory, all stuck together, okay, under the name flavors. But in order to be able to differentiate between the first one and the second one and the third one and so on, we have to refer to their indexes. These are called indexes. Sometimes they're also called subscripts in other languages. I like the word index myself. But so this is an array of 10 elements. And it is indexed 1 through 10. So let me show you the code. It's pretty much what you're imagining. Let's say no to that garbage there. Okay, so this is my array. I'm creating the array in memory and populating it. 10 elements, 10 flavors, okay? And it really is that easy. Now, if I wanted to change one of these flavors, for example, like let's say number 7, double fudge. Let's say we're changing that to triple fudge. All I have to do is overwrite that, referencing that by its index. I said that was number 7. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about getting data out of an array. So you know how to put data in, how to populate an array or overwrite data in an array, but what about getting the data out? I'm just going to delete this so it doesn't complicate things. So we're back to double fudge. But okay, so you might be tempted to do something like this, and this is an honest mistake that a beginner would make. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to write this to the console. I don't have a user interface here. I don't have a GUI, so we'll just use the text window. But I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to write the flavors to the console. Let's run that and see what we get. Okay, the Small Basic is actually rather forgiving when it comes to printing array contents. It looks like garbage, okay, I don't like this. I want them listed like a shopping list, like in a column. So I'm going to have to do that myself. This is what Small Basic will do. It'll print the indexes and each of the elements or the contents of the array. Other languages are not this easy, and they'll just give you an error if you try to do that, or else they'll print some crazy nonsensical value. So, okay, fine. What I want to do is print the flavors like in a shopping list format, okay? So I'm going to use a loop. Arrays and loops go hand in hand, because what you're doing and what we're going to do in this example is examine each element one at a time and print it to the console, or the text window. So the first time through the loop, I'm looking at the first one. I'm like, okay, salted caramel, go to the text window. And then I'll, do a new line, and then looking at the second one, chocolate peanut butter to the console. Third one, butter pecan to the console. You see how repetitive this is? And this is why if you want to go through an array and examine it element by element and do something with each element, each value, like we're doing here is printing the contents of each element, then you will loop through that array. Very, very common thing to want to do in programming. So I'm going to whip up a loop really quickly. So we'll say for, how about I like little I, equals, we'll say 1 to 10. Okay, I'll just hard code a 10 for now. There are better ways of going about that, which we'll talk about maybe in another video. I'll end my for loop here. Okay, so my loop counter is I, little I. During the course of this loop, I is going to take on values 1 through 10. Not coincidentally, those are the indexes in my array, okay? I did that on purpose, all right? So within the loop, I'm going to say text window.write. No, you know what, I'll do a write line because I want a new line after each flavor. And then I'm writing from the flavors array, but then I'm going to put an index, okay? I'm going to put I, loop counter, as array index. Very, very, very important technique. I am going to, this is all caps because I'm shouting at you. Loop counter as array index. Okay, so think about that. First time through the loop, I is 1. So we're saying print flavors 1. Salted caramel goes to the console. Second time through the loop, I goes up to 2. We're saying print flavors 2. Chocolate peanut butter. Okay. Third time through the loop, I is 3. Butter pecan. So we're examining each element one at a time and printing the contents to the text window. So let's go ahead and run that real quick. And there they are. And there you have it, your first array.